Joining us now to talk more about the opening of that border with Egypt is Steve Sosebee, the president and co-founder of Palestine Children's Relief Fund. Steve, thank you so much for coming on the show. You're based in Ohio, but some of your staff in Gaza, they're close to or have crossed the border. Where are they now, as far as you know, and what are they telling you that their journey has been like?
Well, we had two volunteers who physicians and medical volunteers who were in Gaza for the past 3+ weeks. They went there on humanitarian missions. One is a pediatrician who was seeing children who needed medical care and other types of support. And the other is a prosthetic and orthotic specialist who was fitting kids who are amputees with artificial limbs. And they were able to get out this morning unexpectedly. We got this news last night that they were able to cross this morning and are now currently on their way, exhausted, of course, to Cairo and in need of a well-deserved rest. Their crossing took several hours, nearly 12 hours to get out. And it was a bit chaotic. Of course, there was a lot of people trying to get out, understandably, including injured people. And we know that, there were some injured people that got out through Egypt. And those are the volunteers who were able to get out. We have a staff of 40 on the ground in Gaza who work for us. They're social workers, field workers, accountants, procurement specialists. And we're just praying every day that there will be a ceasefire and that the violence will stop.
What are you learning from your staff about those scenes at the crossing and what they're experiencing firsthand?
Well, that it wasn't, it was chaotic and it wasn't very well organized. Understandably, again, this is not to complain, but you can imagine that when you have a situation where people are running out of food, running out of clean water, there's no electricity, there's no fuel, and that there's bombs going on all over the place and there's no safe space, that people are becoming very nervous, anxious. They haven't slept in many, many weeks. For the most part, I think it was an orderly crossing, despite some of those situations, the situation and conditions that I mentioned. And, people behave themselves considering that it is kind of a desperate and chaotic situation in general, the entire Gaza Strip.
A UNICEF spokesperson has called it Gaza, quote, a graveyard for thousands of children. Your organization specifically focuses on Palestinian children. What are your immediate concerns for those who are still inside?
Our immediate concerns is that children are being killed by the hundreds every single day. They're having their homes destroyed. They're being bombed. They're not able to find any refuge. The medical treatment is running out. Gasoline and fuel is running out. Their pain medication is in short supply. Doctors can't use anesthesia anymore. Surgeries are being done in the hospital corridors, often without anesthesia. These poor children, kids that are, innocent victims, are being killed. Organizations like ours, who are obligated to come in and provide medical care and humanitarian aid for these kids, first of all, can't get that aid to them because the borders are, for the most part, blocked. And secondly, we're going to be met with an overwhelming need that far exceeds whatever resources we have to provide these children the medical care and humanitarian aid that they need to live.
Right now, aid organizations like yours are struggling just to provide the basic necessities for children and their families. But I am curious if anybody's thinking ahead about the potential long-term effects that this conflict could have on the children of Gaza.
We have a mental health program, but it's far short of what's going to be needed. Every single child, every single person in the Gaza Strip is being traumatized psychologically and physically, but psychologically traumatized. It's going to leave long-term scars in the mental health of these children, and how they grow up with these deep scars of insecurity, of fear, of anxiety is something that requires an intensive amount of effort to try to heal them. But it's going to be almost impossible if there's going to be a continuation of bombing and violence that is the root cause of this anxiety and this post-traumatic stress.
Steve Sosebee, we thank you so much for talking with us, president and co-founder of Palestine Children's Relief Fund. Really appreciate your time.
Welcome.
Hi, everyone. George Stephanopoulos here. Thanks for checking out the ABC News YouTube channel. If you'd like to get more videos, show highlights, and watch live event coverage, click on the right over here to subscribe to our channel. And don't forget to download the ABC News app for breaking news alerts. Thanks for watching.